Hello and welcome to my guide on how to get what I believe is the best start in survival mode in Fallout 4. I'm Super Twonky, thanks for checking out this video. If you're not familiar with my previous videos, you may be wondering what kind of authority I have to make a starter guide like this. I have at least 3,000 hours in Fallout 4, most of it being on survival mode, and a good chunk of it being doing permadeath runs on survival, including a you only live once run. And most of the runs being with various restrictions in place. And I've done multiple different kinds of builds, so I think I am qualified to share my thoughts here and make a guide on how to get a, just a really solid start on survival. Maybe if you're having trouble with it, or yet you haven't tried survival yet, but you want to give it a shot, but it seems intimidating. I was definitely in that boat before. Or maybe you're thinking about doing a survival permadeath run. I think the things in this guide will definitely help out with that. And yeah, and the cool thing about it is it can work for just about any build because there are only really 2 perks that I'm going to be taking. One thing real quick, if you're not used to survival, make sure you collect all the empty bottles you find, because if you find a purified water source like a sink in a vault, you can convert any empty bottles into purified water. So yeah, this guide will cover about, I would say, maybe the first 3 hours or so of the game. And like I said, we're only going to be using a couple of perks, so the rest of the build is totally up to you. Yeah, I think if you follow this, you're going to end up with a really solid start for survival mode. And really the beginning of the game in survival is probably the hardest to get through. So hopefully you find this useful. Right now I'm just going through the vault, but I guess we can probably cut ahead to going over the special stats here to begin with. One thing I should mention maybe is just make sure you're looting everything here in the vault. There's always some ammo over here. Sometimes you can find bobby pins or even like antibiotics or medicine in the cabinets there. And there is always a bobby pin in this file cabinet here. And you want to make sure you're collecting all the radroach meat you come across too, since cooking meat is very beneficial for survival mode, as you have to manage hunger and thirst. Okay, so these are the special stats that I'm going with for this particular character, but the only ones that are requirements for this guide are charisma and intelligence. We want charisma at least 3 for Lone Wanderer, and we want intelligence at least 7 for chemist. And the good news is, in my opinion, these are 2 of the absolute best perks you can get for survival mode. Both easily in my top 5. The rest of the points you can distribute however you want. I do highly recommend going with at least 3 strength for armorer, because armorer is fantastic when you unlock ballistic weave. But really, the other points you can distribute however you want, depending on what kind of build you're going for. I went for 3 strength for armorer, 4 perception for like locksmith, even though I feel like it's kind of an overrated perk, but a lot of people like it. And if we get the bobblehead, we can go to demolition expert, which is very solid. And then I just kind of split endurance and agility 5 and 5 between the 2, even though normally I recommend going like all in on 1 and leaving the other at 1 in most circumstances. But like I said, charisma and intelligence are the only requirements. If you really wanted to min-max it, you could drop your intelligence to 6 and then rush to get the intelligence bobblehead from the Boston Public Library. I'm not going to do that, but that is an option. We are going to be transporting poisoned caltrops from Sanctuary down into Boston. So if you do opt to go with this route, instead what I'd recommend is transporting just a bunch of the steel from Sanctuary and Red Rocket instead, and then being able to craft the caltrops after you've gotten the bobblehead, and then you save yourself a bunch of walking time. But anyway, this is what I'm going with. But yeah, it's a very flexible guide as far as what you want to make your build though. So once again, just charisma and intelligence. The other points, do whatever you want with them. So upon leaving the vault here, first we'll just ignore all of the little quests coming up because those are from the Creation Club. We'll be ignoring them. But we want to make sure we're going to all of these little buildings here around the vault and all these boxes, and we want to just pick up absolutely everything. There's no reason not to. You're not going to get over encumbered this early in the game, so you might as well. Especially like we get a desk fan with steel and screws and gears, all good stuff. And that's going to be kind of a general rule for this guide, is wherever you go, loot everything you can. Especially prioritize things that have steel in them, or can be broken down for steel. And we also want to make sure we grab all the hub flour we come across. But there's a lot of hub flour here around Sanctuary, so you shouldn't have any trouble finding enough. We're going to want at least 4 hub flour though. And in Sanctuary, we can just, you know, check the suitcase there. That's what I always do. And we can kind of kill these rad roaches on our own. Not too bad, already leveled up there. Come on, dude. So yeah, the first point I'm gonna do is Lone Wanderer. And you should have about as much experience as I do at this point, if not more. If I had really min-maxed it, I would have gone with 10 intelligence when going through the vault, just to maximize the amount of XP I get from killing the rad roaches there, and you get to respec at the end of it anyway. Always grab these frag grenades from the trash can, although we'll be scrapping all of Sanctuary anyway, including the trash can, so even if you don't do that, you'll end up having them in the workbench regardless. And here we can either talk to Codsworth and have him fight the bloatflies, or we can take him out ourselves. I'll just shoot them down myself, I think. There's one down, a couple more. These can actually be kind of tricky, so definitely no shame in enlisting the help of Codsworth if you need to. While you're at it, you may as well unlock the safes here. Just a little more XP. Alrighty, bloatflies down. One more safe. Okay, with the bloatflies taken care of, we should be able to claim the workbench. And here, what I recommend doing is scrapping everything you can, especially the ruined buildings, anything with steel in them, like all these ruined houses have steel. If you're on PC, what I recommend doing is using a mod, I believe it's called, let me take a look here, Unlimited Survival Mode. It has a bunch of stuff that you can modify. I pretty much leave it all on vanilla, except for unlocking the console. I think it's just in general a good idea in case you get like blocked by a mission. I've had to use the console to unblock missions many times. Usually it's the cabin house. And then usually just to save time, I just do scrap all, which will just scrap everything, and then I use console commands to rebuild the workbenches. It's certainly not a requirement. Nothing in this video is going to require you using mods. You can do everything I do without any mods at all. I'm just using the console to save time. Otherwise, I could go around and like just scrap everything in Sanctuary. It usually takes me about 15 minutes. The other thing you want to remember to do is behind this blue house here. Well, first we're going to grab this hub flour and then head into the root cellar. And we want to grab everything in here, but the most important thing are 3 gold bars, because they are worth a lot, and we will be using them to buy stuff. I also highly recommend picking up any wild mute fruit you come across. It only weighs 0.1, and it takes 2 of them to fulfill 1 stage of hunger, and they only give 2 rads apiece, so very little radiation from them. They don't weigh a lot, and they're good for fulfilling hunger if you don't happen to have cooked food on you. 2 things you want to build almost right away are a water fountain or a sink, and a bed. I think these are from Creation Club, or the one from the Vault Tech DLC is kind of nice looking. So I usually just build it in one of these houses here. And you end up getting tired pretty quickly, so we're going to go ahead and sleep. And then I'm just going to cook any of that insect meat that I found and pull any bottles out of the workbench and make sure to fill them up with water with my water fountain, which goes a lot faster than using a water pump. Now after scrapping everything, you'll want to check your apparel section in the workbench for anything useful. In particular, military fatigues or army fatigues are probably the 2 best ones. Unfortunately, I didn't find anything very good. You're almost guaranteed to find a piece of clothing that gives 2 charisma, so make sure to grab one of those. And yeah, I'm gonna leave anything I don't need behind. I did find a lab coat in the vault, but I'm not gonna use that on this guide because it's not guaranteed. And leaving Sanctuary, we're going to want to loot these dead bodies here, the duffel bag up here, and then head over this way to the right of the bridge. And we can grab some stim packs and a little bit of ammo. And then head over to the water tower where we'll have more supplies. So a first aid kit and 4 purified waters. And then here, this trunk will usually have at least 1 piece of armor. In this case, we've got a welded raider left arm. Not the best thing ever, but oh well. And some hub flour. And mute fruit. So now we're heading over to Red Rocket. What I usually like to do is claim it first before talking to Dogmeat, and then we can get to scrapping everything just like Sanctuary. If you are using the scrap all console command, I do recommend storing these cigarette cartons first because those are valuable for bartering with, and we don't want to just be scrapping them for the materials. So now that we have Red Rocket taken care of, we can greet Dogmeat.
Hey, boy.
So after we've greeted Dogmeat, we just need to wait for the mole rats to show up. They're finally here. I just switched from my 10mm to this pipe weapon. So, you know, since the ammo is kind of cheaper. And I think that's all the mole rats. So now we just loot the bodies, we'll cook up any of the meat we find. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and dismiss Dogmeat. We'll do this guide companionless.
Go on.
And yeah, I've stored pretty much all my junk and things I don't need into the workbench to keep my inventory clear. So right now I've got... oh, I have more weapons I need to store. Alright, much better. I'm at 49 carry weight. Let's go ahead and go into the mole rat den. And we can grab the brain fungus here. It will come in useful if we don't end up finding any mentats, which we are going to want. Just take care of the mole rats in here, and just loot everything. Lots of empty bottles that we can convert to purified water. We leveled up, so let's put that other perk point into Chemist. And now I'm not going to be using any more perk points for the rest of this guide. But the most important thing here are these black rim glasses here by the skeleton. We want to have those to boost our charisma for bartering. And then just loot everything else in here, especially anything that has steel. Then if we go in the back of the den here, there's going to be a rabid mole rat, which we will need to take out, because that thing will cause poison damage. I don't think it does a whole lot, but it's a little bit more dangerous than the other mole rats. Back at Red Rocket, store everything you got from the mole rat den. I'd also recommend building another water fountain and a bed to fill up those bottles. And if you're not playing on permadeath, go ahead and drop a save in the bed. Otherwise, it's best to have adrenaline for any enemy encounters you come across. Like these bloatflies up here, which may actually cause me some trouble, because I did actually take a rest. So hopefully we can get a sneak attack on this guy. And wow, that hardly did anything. Okay. And we got a fight on our hands. Yeah, blowflies, don't underestimate them. They can be pretty challenging enemies on survival. They're very hard to hit. He will dodge like crazy. And if you take too many hits from them, the poison damage does kind of add up. Managed to take that one down. And we've got one more. I don't know why these guys are so much... they seem so much tougher. Or at least that one seemed so much tougher than the ones in Sanctuary. Well, let's go again, I guess. Come on. Alright, got it. Not gonna lie, that was a lot harder than I was expecting it to be. I don't know if I've ever had that much trouble with these bloatflies before. I guess I would amend this guide and say go ahead and take care of those right away before doing anything at Red Rocket while you've still got the adrenaline from the bloatflies and rad roaches in Sanctuary. But here we can discover Abernathy Farm. And then this area we can pop over here, get a little bit more supplies, more hub flour. Good stuff there. We've also got a mattress there if we want to drop a safety save. Don't really care about those rad stags. Even more hub flour. You should not be running low on hub flour. We should have plenty of it. We only really need 4. And this might be another tricky spot. Let me make sure I'm at full health for this. But yeah, we're going to be over here at Wicked Shipping. And let's take out... Let's see. Hopefully we can just shoot through the fence here. And we want to take out the ghouls here. And then I did pick up some Molotovs. You should have them too. I feel like it's pretty rare not to have found some Molotovs just in a random container. But yeah, this is going to be a roamer. But a few well-placed shots and a Molotov should take it out. And then we're just going to be looting all of Wicked Shipping, especially anything that has steel, like tin cans. And aluminum cans are great too. So here in Wicked Shipping, we just kind of looted the upstairs area. Then on the roof, we've got a duffel bag with some pre-war money. And then we can take out this ghoul from safety and continue looting. Also, make sure you're picking up any pipe weapons. So off of this settler or in that safe, we're going to be wanting to break those down. So pick up all the pipe weapons you can find. And this building over here, we've got the Wicked Shipping Key, a Grognak magazine. And we can use that key right away to open this trailer door. And more goodies in here. Yeah, just grab everything. So down here, we've got a few more bloatflies. What we can do is throw a Molotov at them. And that was a really well-placed Molotov. They are all taken down. We want to make sure we deal with them because we want to head into this shack here for a very important item, which is a whiskey. So that's the first guaranteed whiskey that we found so far. Also some nice empty bottles, other stuff. And if we want, we can drop a safety save here on this mattress before continuing on. We're going to be going further south down to Sunshine Tidings. Yeah, it looks like we've got a random encounter with ghouls. So I'm just gonna steer clear of those guys. Kind of head along the road here and just kind of keep a nice safe distance from this hill over here, which is a random encounter spot. Okay, so now we are on top of the dam. There's another random encounter spot up ahead, which you may want to take a Radix if you found one so far and jump in the river to keep going, if this is a dangerous encounter. So far, I'm not seeing anything. Oh, we've got a dead settler, so yeah, no big deal. Oh, they do have a green shirt and combat boots, so yeah, I'll be taking that. And now we're heading over here to Sunshine Tidings. Even more hub flour around here as well. And we're gonna go into this building here and deal with the ghouls. There's one down. And then this one will pop up when we get too close. Oh, that was not a good time to run out of ammo. And then over here, we can equip one of those 2 grenades we found in Sanctuary. And we're gonna kind of aim at the top of this window here, and we should be able to get the grenade through there. There we go. And that's them taken care of. And this is one of the most important magazines for survival mode. The Wasteland Survival Guide, Hunting in the Wastes. It gives you extra meat from animal kills. So since cooking food is very important for survival, getting the extra meat is going to be great. And we're just going to grab all of that stuff. And with those ghouls taken care of, we can now claim Sunshine Tidings. And we're going to not go too crazy here. We can scrap a few things here and there for more steel. We are going to want to like drop and break down any of the heavy junk items that we found. Also a few buildings here in Sunshine Tidings that have rad roaches that you'll want to take care of. Got one right there. Alright, so here at Sunshine, I'm going to check out the chemistry station, see if there's anything I can make. In this case, I can make a great mentats with that whiskey I found. Apparently, I also found a mentats, and we've been finding plenty of hub flour. So let's go ahead and make that. If you can't make it, don't worry about it. We'll be able to use the brain fungus as well as some like random lead, which I'm sure you should find at some point back at like Sanctuary. Create a mentats and the great mentats there. And then the other thing we're gonna make is we're gonna go to traps and we're gonna make poison caltrops. About as many as we can. And then since we have this settlement claimed, this is another spot where I'd recommend building a bed if you either become tired or as a safety save if you're not doing permadeath. So next up, we're going to be heading kind of down this path here toward Walden Pond, and we want to be a little careful because there is typically a random encounter or kind of a couple that we need to kind of sneak through. So far everything's good. There's usually one kind of over here by that pond right there, and then typically another one over here on the other side of this building. So we're just gonna head over to this building. Here we go, we've discovered Walden Pond. There's a little cap stash right there. And yeah, we can see there's a wild mongrel over there. We don't want to disturb him though. But we'll take out the monkey. And then here, we have our second guaranteed whiskey. So now we for sure will be able to make 2 great mentats. And then once we're done looting the gift shop, we'll head over this way into the Walden Pond drainage pipe. And here we're gonna have a few raiders to deal with. If you want, I do recommend sitting and listening to their conversation because it's hilarious. But this time around I'm just gonna take them out with a Molotov. Or that was a grenade, which took out one of them. I meant to switch to a Molotov though. There we go. And we can loot more stuff here. There is also, I need some armor, a Junktown vendor magazine. Now if you want to, you could also drop a save here at the sleeping bag and then head further in to take out Walter and Whiplash over there. It is a pretty risky move at this low of a level. I personally would not advise doing so if you're doing a survival permadeath. Because of that, I'm not gonna make it a part of this guide. But if you want, yeah, feel free to, drop a save and then go in and see if you can take them out. Well-placed Molotov or 2 should work fine. Just be careful of the archway because it's really easy to accidentally hit something close to you with your Molotov and kill yourself that way. But in this case, we're just gonna head out. So back at Sunshine Tidings, drop and break down any heavy items that you're carrying, including any pipe weapons. We're gonna wanna break those down into steel. And then grab anything valuable or any junk that you wanna take with you from the Sunshine Tidings workbench after you've broken everything down. And then we're going to head back to Sanctuary / Red Rocket. And be a little cautious here at the dam again, because it is possible for the random encounter here to reset, depending on how long you've taken. And on your way back, head to this power pylon. It's kind of south of Abernathy Farm. And now that we have the double meat magazine, we want to try and take down these rad stags to make some grilled rad stag. Alright, well, one of them kind of got away from me. It went up the hill. So, I don't know, I got 2 of them. That should be enough rad stag meat for me. And here, back at Red Rocket, I can craft another great mentats. Looks like I found a 3rd whiskey. I think there was one here at the workbench at the Red Rocket. So, we've got our 2 great mentats now. Here, you can kind of make this another checkpoint. And we're gonna head down to Concord now. Beware of the blood bugs here. One thing you might want to do is just set up a turret and have it kill them for you. I'll see if I can just take these guys out with my pipe rifle. Yeah, not too bad. And yeah, trying to loot all the buildings here in Concord. Like I just found some mentats in that little chem box there. We've also got this building over here, and then I think there's another one kind of further down that way too. So we're kind of heading here into Concord, where Preston is fighting off some raiders. We can give him a little bit of a hand here if we want. We can take a few shots at these guys, shouldn't be too much trouble. Oh, there's the one. And yeah, taking these raiders out isn't really too much trouble usually, as long as you just kind of keep your distance. And just take pot shots out at them while they're distracted with Preston. I think Preston took out the last one.
Hey, up here!
Okay.
On the balcony! I've got a group of settlers inside! The raiders are almost through the door! Grab that laser musket and help us! Please!
Alright, so sometimes this Minuteman will spawn with a militia hat, I think, which is +1 charisma. That's always good to find. We'll be finding a guaranteed charisma hat later on, though. And the Minuteman outfit is also pretty good. I think I'm going to stick with my green shirt and combat boots. I usually like to loot any leather off of these guys, too, so we can break that down. And just kind of loot these buildings. There's some good stuff around here. Probably not the hard hat, but oh well. And here's that other building I mentioned. Yet another chem box there. And I'm actually running low on carry weight, so in this circumstance, I'm gonna run back up to Red Rocket real quick, and then we're gonna head back down here to loot the Concord Speakeasy. And then from the leather you've picked up, what I'd also probably recommend here is outfitting any of your gear with pocketed, if you can spare the resources for it. In my case, I just put pocketed on 3 pieces of armor. And then here in the Concord Speakeasy, once again, we're just going to be looting everything, especially the cans and bottles. We're going to want to get all of the steel that we can, so these tin cans really do the trick for that. Up here in this bedroom, we want to grab these 2 Excels, and most importantly, these 2 Day Trippers. And if you want, there is a hidden medicine first aid kit here as well. Okay, with that taken care of, I'm going to go down this road here, and we're gonna go talk to Trash Can Carla, as well as get some goodies along the way. What I usually like to do with Trash Can Carla is just sell her all of the pre-war food that I have acquired so far. The one thing to be aware of is there is a random encounter that can happen here. Yeah, just be on the lookout for that. I'm gonna go ahead and swap into some charisma gear. I did also find a military fatigues in the speakeasy.
Just looking for love, sweetheart.
Boy, but I'll tell you,
I've got a few minutes to browse.
I got a little bit of...
So yeah, I'm gonna sell her probably like my extra 10mm pistols because they're heavy, and then, like I said, like my pre-war food. And if you have extra, you can look for like some cheap stuff that has good components, like this dinner tray only costs 2 and has 3 aluminum. Okay, and then that, we do want to keep an eye out for... Alright, we got mongrels coming. I just saw them. So I'm gonna head up to safety, and then Carla should be able to deal with the mongrels. I can maybe help her out a little bit. If you grab any of this stuff, it also will spawn raiders, which actually might be a good idea here. We can have them fight the mongrels and Carla. Just a big free-for-all.
Let's do this!
Alright, that worked out actually pretty well. So, with all that out of the way, it's now time to prepare for a journey down to Diamond City. So, here in Sanctuary, what I'm going to do is, once again, to break down any extra weapons I have, in this case just a couple of pipe pistols. And then at the chem station, we're going to craft a bunch of poison caltrops. I usually like to leave maybe 1 to 200 steel left over for any other crafting here, but we can always get steel later on, so don't worry about using too much steel here. Alright, I left myself with about 100 steel left in the workbench, and I now have 249 poison caltrops. And then I'm going to pick up anything that I want to be able to sell. Cigar boxes are good value, as well as cigarette cartons. We definitely want these gold bars. You could bring a gold watch too, and pre-war money, and cigarette packs. Those are kind of some main things. If you can spare the carry weight, you could also bring screwdrivers, because there is someone in Vault 81 that'll pay you 15 caps apiece for tools. So screwdrivers only weigh 0.5. That might not be a bad thing to carry with you. And And this is something I almost always forget. Make sure you have one bloat flag gland with you as well. So now we are over encumbered from the caltrops. So what we're gonna do is drop the stack of them, and then we're going to hold down the take button, and that will put them on your cursor or a crosshair. And now we can just kind of carry them in front of us without them using up carry weight. Just be careful not to like swing your camera around too wildly, or you may end up flinging them, and they can be very hard to locate if you end up flinging them somewhere. And then here at Red Rocket, we're gonna basically do the same thing. Alright, and I actually had forgotten about the caltrops I'd already stored in this workbench, so I really have 400 poison caltrops on me. Yeah, you can make quite a bit of these, and they're very valuable. So we're going to be using them to buy some top-end gear here pretty much right at the beginning of the game. This is my inventory right now. What I have with me, some of the main things I pulled out of the workbench are purified water, mainly from collecting all of the empty bottles I've come across. We've got the bloat flag gland, cigarette cartons, cigar boxes, just any kind of junk items that have good value to weight ratios. And some ammo, not a ton though. And yeah, we're gonna put this on our cursor and head down south. Alright, here we are passing where Trash Can Carla was. And we're just gonna kind of stick to this road.
We had a deal.
We can just kind of ignore Simone and Wolfgang for now. And then if we find kind of a place of interest, we can kind of put down our caltrops in a place that we won't lose them. So here we find some cigarettes, and I think there's always a quantum there when you first pass this place. And usually I like to kind of steer clear of this house. It's our random encounter point, and there can be dangerous things spawning there. And we can open up this trailer with our wicked shipping key, find some more stuff. I'll grab the pipe pistols for now in case we run into a weapon bench we can break them down. Otherwise, they might be kind of low priority, and I might end up dropping them if I run out of carry capacity. And now we're approaching Lexington, so we're gonna kind of go left on this road here, kind of down this way. There's a little toolbox where you can find some more adhesive. And you may want to sneak for this so you don't draw the attention of the raiders up there. Possible they'll be able to see you if you're too brazen. Let's see, let's pop those down. I'm gonna pick up this handy fuel, for now anyway. And then I'm just gonna store the caltrops in this cooler here. And let's go into the Super Duper Mart. And here we have a few ghouls to take out. Definitely check the bodies, because you might find something good like military grade duct tape. And if we stand on top of these kind of displays here, the ghouls have a hard time getting to us, so it's a good spot to just kind of take them out. Don't run away. Well, that one's running away. That's a little sad. We can also grab some quantums here. Oh, here we go. Oh! He actually had no trouble getting up on there. Was not expecting that. Okay, I am finally back into hidden. Oh, there's the ghoul. Alright. Not out of the clear yet. Let's go ahead and take this guy out. Okay. And we're gonna have a few ghouls over here. See, get this guy in the head. And then one here. Very good. There's another Junk Town Vendor magazine here. And we can take out that ghoul right there. And yeah, I'm pretty much just looting any like the valuable stuff that isn't too heavy. Usually empty bottles, cans as usual, pre-war money, stuff like that, chems.
That's it.
Hey, a pocketed chest piece. I think that completes my apparel, adds a little bit more carry weight. And we'll have one more ghoul climbing through the window here. Take him out. So at this point you could go through here clear out the rest of the place. There is another chem station, so if you picked up any like heavy steel stuff, you could craft more poison caltrops over there. If you do that, I do recommend setting down a mine like maybe around here and over here-ish, because crossing that threshold will spawn more ghouls over here. For the purposes of this guide, I don't think I'm going to go back there. I don't really think it's necessary. So I'm going to continue looting the place and we'll be on our way. Just across the street from the Super Duper Mart, we have the bank. So we can go over here, check the registers for pre-war money and caps. Then through the door that will get open with the terminal, there's more pre-war money, and then we're going to have a duffel bag down here that has 100 pre-war money in it, so that's great. Try to loot that as quickly as possible and then get out of the way, because there are ghouls around there that can pretty easily spot you. From here, what I usually like to do is just take a quick jog over this way, kind of avoiding these buildings since that's where a couple of raiders live. And we can just go over here to Mystic Pines. And at Mystic Pines, we have another Junktown Vendor magazine for even better prices. And a few little containers we can check for loot. Hey, postman hat. I think I'll wear that. And there are also some full-size beds where you can get a full night's rest or drop a save. With that taken care of, I'm gonna make sure I grab my poisoned caltrops. And if you do have any other pipe weapons on you that you want to break down, there is a building over here. In here we can use this weapon bench to break down some extra weapons we've been carrying. I think I'll save this because it's worth 76, so hopefully that's not too much carry weight for me. And we can keep heading down the road. Over here we can stop by this kind of a rundown building, take out the rad roaches here, and grab some more empty bottles to fill with water. And then if we get over here, it'll spawn some more rad roaches that we can take out. And just a little further down the road, I usually like to stop here at the Jalbert Brothers Disposal. So we can go ahead and, let's see, where can I put these poison caltrops? I'll just maybe drop them right by this tripwire. Get to high ground and snipe down some of these mole rats. Hopefully, before they burrow. Oh, get down. Alright, that was a decent amount of them taken out. Oh. There you are. Got him. Alright. Mole rat's taken out. And then here we can search these Children of Adam corpses. There's a chance that they'll have nuka grenades on them, so that's worth a shot. Careful of the rads in there. And I did become over encumbered, but that's why we have grilled red stag. So got a little bit more carry weight for that. Hey, we got one nuka grenade there. We can also use this cooking station, especially with mole rat chunks. And yeah, after looting this place, we can grab our caltrops again and be on our way. We're just heading down the road, being a little careful. There are mines. We can kind of see a mine right there. Are a couple mines here. I guess we could just go ahead and disarm them and pick them up. And then two more mines down here as well. And if you need another checkpoint, there is a sleeping bag under this bridge where you can drop a save. So what I usually like to do is go over this bridge and then kind of stick fairly close to the riverbank, because there is a random encounter that can kind of happen up in this general area. And then I think about here, we can kind of head back to the road a little bit. There's kind of like a vegetable stand here. So we can go here. Maybe we'll just set our caltrops down for now. Frequently there can be super mutants that like to kind of come along and walk down this road. So be mindful of that. But we're gonna come in here, grab some day tripper, some pre-war money, bottle caps. Then back through this door, we have more day tripper and then also more pre-war money. And there is a chem station we can use. I'm gonna go ahead and craft some more poison caltrops. And since I used like some oil cans, I'm gonna make sure I take any of the leftover material out of the workbench. Because if you automatically break stuff down to craft it, any of the excess materials get stored in the bench. So we're gonna wanna kind of steer clear of Chaos Junction. Also steer clear of the bear up there. Yeah, I'm gonna kind of go up here by Vault 81. And again, there is a bed here, and this is a full bed, so you can get a, a full rest here as well. And what we can do is let's go ahead and head into Vault 81. So I'm gonna pick up my caltrops and we will crawl through. Let's put these things down now. And here I like to use this desk to store anything I know I'm not gonna sell. So I know I am not going to be selling like some valuable junk like antiseptic, things I'm going to be using for crafting. So I've got some stuff stored. I'm going to switch into my charisma gear. I still don't have a hat, but I don't really think it's going to matter too much. Right now I am at, along with my special, I'm at 6 charisma, because I have 3 charisma normally and then another +3 from my clothes. So with that, I'm going to take a grape mentats, which will bring me up to 11, and that makes it guaranteed that I'll pass any red speech check.
But I'm a fellow vault dweller.
Excuse me, ma'am.
I'm going to allow.
So we pass the speech check, and we can gain access to the vault. Just sped through the conversation with Gwen, and now we can head further into the vault here. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do, I'm going to put my poison caltrops down, and I'm going to go talk to the doctor to donate blood, and we can get some extra caps that way.
I might, for some caps.
All right. The overseer.
That hardly seems enough.
I suppose
Uh-huh. You'll have to do better than that to get
you drive a hard bargain. Just have a seat, and I'll draw some blood.
Sweet, 350 caps. Now we can head back this way to the shop. So I'll go ahead and pick up my caltrops, and then we can take a day tripper, as well as a beer, and talk to Alexis. Alexis, we're going to want to buy the Overseer's Guardian, and then, depending on your build, you'll want to buy one of the right or left arm guard. So if you're going for more of like a VATS build, go for the left arm guard. Otherwise, I usually prefer the right one. So we'll go ahead and select that. And then we can also look out for a whiskey, or any other useful things she might have. I think I also want to buy all of her 45 rounds to use with the Overseer's Guardian. And then let's just sell her... Let's see, I usually like to start with any kind of the extra stuff I have, besides the poison caltrops. That might be worth a lot. Alright, so here we can see all the stuff I'm selling her. All these cigar and cigarette boxes, any extra ammo that I don't think I'm using, the gold bars from Sanctuary, some random aid items, gave her some extra purified water, just anything of value that you're not going to miss. With the poison caltrops making up the difference. The poison caltrops sell for a ton. They sell for 32 caps apiece when you're at like the max level of charisma. And we also have those Junktown vendor magazines helping us out, since I'm not quite at the charisma value I should be because I'm missing the hat. But yeah, you can get the best prices with that combination of drugs and clothing, even with just 3 charisma as your base. So yeah, we'll buy all of that. So now I've got one of the best weapons in the game, I've got one of the best arm pieces in the game, and we still have 200 poison caltrops here. Now if I was smart, I would have bought all of Alexis's tools, as well as any empty bottles that she might have to fill up on purified water here. I forgot to do that, but yeah, that's something I do recommend doing. And now we will leave the cave. Okay, so from here, what we can do is, you know what, we're just gonna run. If anything spots us, we'll just run away from it. And the reason for that is, I want to get down to Bunker Hill, hopefully before my Great Mentats wears off. We'll go down this road a little bit. Incidentally, you should have picked up some Radix on your journey so far, so we're gonna pop a couple of those. And then we are going to hop in the water and swim over to Bunker Hill. Although I probably jumped in too soon. So try to hop on land wherever you can. Remember, there is a super mutant up there with a missile launcher, so be aware of that. Yeah, there he is. So yeah, let's go in the water and get over to Bunker Hill as quickly as possible. We are getting to some land. Radiation isn't terrible, so we can hop up here. Be wary that there might be super mutants over on that bridge, but if there are, they're not too hard to avoid. We just run right up this way. And we'll ignore Kessler. We want to get into the market as quickly as we can and find Deb. Alright, Deb is not in the market, so now we have to go track her down, and there she is. Charisma gear back on. Let's re-up on the beer and Day Tripper. So I believe... Oh wait, Day Tripper is still active, so just the beer.
I'll buy anything you don't need.
I've got a few minutes to browse.
You got the cap?
Alright, so Deb, we are going to buy the Black Ops chest piece and the Black Ops right shin guard. In my case, I might just go ahead and buy the Destroyer's left arm. It's not too expensive, and it gives me a combat armor piece for my left arm since I bought the Overseer's right arm guard. Obviously, if you bought the Overseer's left arm guard, don't worry about getting this thing. And then we can go ahead and sell off the rest of our poison caltrops, which works out almost perfectly. If you weren't able to get quite that many poison caltrops, that is what pre-war money is for, because this is another $2,300 of buying power. So pre-war money coming in clutch if you don't have quite enough with the caltrops. A note about the Black Ops chest piece, it is one of my absolute favorite armor pieces in the game, because if we inspect it, it comes with the Dense mod, which cuts explosion damage in half. It has really good damage resistance for this early in the game, and it gives you strength and endurance, which are both great stats to have on survival. Since there's no fast travel, endurance is really nice for the lower EP drain, if you want to sprint from one location to another, and with the lower carry weight of survival mode, having 10 more points of carry capacity from the extra strength is never a bad thing. So yeah, highly recommend getting this armor piece. And then the Black Ops Shin Guard, it's another piece of sturdy combat armor, and it has the Sprinter's effect, which is also really good on survival, where you have to run everywhere. So yeah, really solid stuff here. We'll go ahead and complete that transaction. And now, we've got some really good armor and one of the best weapons in the game. So it looks like I am a little over encumbered right now, just by one. Oh wait, I've got Day Tripper lowering my strength. Okay, I just traded Deb my leather chest piece because it's heavy. So now we are not over encumbered. We are pretty much all set. There's just a few other things I want to take care of here. Alright, more Radix, and we'll take the river back toward Diamond City. Well, really, I think it's mainly just that raider camp we need to avoid. We can hop on land here pretty soon. Yeah, with Overseer's Guardian, we can take down a few soft shell Mirelurks without issue. Just kind of avoiding the raiders here right now at the Riptide here, I think, whatever that boat is. And then we can go over here to Hangman's Alley. And we're tired, so let's try to take this place over with our new gear now. Shouldn't be too hard. I'm gonna go ahead and open the door, because that's gonna be a nice escape route. And I might not even need to use the Overseer's Guardian. Right now it's still an automatic weapon, so possibly not the best choice. I'll see if we can maybe fire some Molotovs at these guys. Hopefully take them down that way. There's one more down. See if that gets anyone. Doesn't seem like it. Oh no, that raider was on fire. Alright, now they're throwing Molotovs. Oh, but now that we have a lot more armor, we don't have to be as scared of their Molotovs anymore. I am still going to try to avoid them though. Throw a grenade over there. Seem to do okay. One more. Oh, they got me in the head. Alright. So yeah, still be a little careful. If they shoot you in the head, that's still gonna hurt. But I feel like if I didn't have all this armor, I would definitely be dead.
Come on out. No sign of him now. I don't like it. Hey.
One more grenade. Hopefully that does the trick. One more of them. That guy is very wounded. Okay. As you can see, even if you're a little careless like I was, and get hit in the head, with this new armor setup, you'll hopefully be okay. And now we've got Hangman's Alley. So here in Hangman's Alley, if you're using an automatic weapons build, the Overseer's Guardian is probably mostly good as is. You may want to change out the scope for like a reflex sight. In my case, I need nuclear material. I'll just go with a front sight ring. And let's say I want to use like maybe just more of a rifleman build instead of automatics. I can always change this to a hardened receiver. Don't need any points of gun nut for that. And I just happen to, you know, have been picked up enough junk that I've got the materials for it. So we can go ahead and do that. I don't have enough for a long barrel. I need more screws. But I can just head to Diamond City for that, which would kind of be the next thing I'd recommend doing after taking a snooze, because I am tired. And we want to make sure we get to Diamond City at a time when the shops are open. So on the way to Diamond City, watch out in case there are super mutants left over. In this case, there certainly are. But we've got a good fighting chance against them with the Overseer's Guardian here. Oh wow. The DC guards did not do very well here. A little bit close. But yeah, if we did not have the gear that we do, that would have easily been a death right there. We'll just do a little bit of strafing action. Take these guys out. I feel like it was pretty unlucky for so many of them to be left alive like this. We can also use the cover system here in Fallout 4, so just aim around cover. Although, hey, maybe Cricket and her posse can help us out a little bit. Alternatively, you could just avoid this fight altogether. Okay, super mutants dealt with, and you know, we can loot the place like usual. Oh, one of them was legendary. Maybe that's why Diamond City Security had so much trouble here. But yeah, at this point we can do the dialogue with Piper, and then head into Diamond City, take all the quests from the locals here. I think I need another grilled rat stag. There's a couple things I can show you here in Diamond City that you may want to check out. Here in Diamond City, we can use that second day tripper and collect all of the little side quests here from these guys. We've got Solomon over there, as well as Mo. Mo will send us to collect some baseball relics. We have Abbott at the wall, we have cleaning out the water, and we've got the science center, which is why I made sure to bring the bloatfly gland with me. So lots of opportunities here for more caps and experience, and you'll be able to get the max amount of caps by just taking that second day tripper, or not day tripper, Great Mentats. And then there's one more thing we can do here, and that's head to Fallon's basement. So Becky Fallon sells the champion right arm, so if you decided to go with the Overseer's left arm guard for the 10% reduced VATS cost, you can pair that with the champion right arm, which gives you agility and perception, which is, you know, also great for a VATS build. And then if you enter and leave any building, you'll get this encounter here. We can just take down Kyle. And then this is the guaranteed charisma hat I was talking about. We can get the newsboy cap off of Kyle for a full set of charisma gear. The other thing I'd recommend doing pretty early on here in Diamond City is going up to the Colonial Tap House and starting the Diamond City Blues mission. That will give you just a boatload of chems when you bust the chem deal. I recommend doing it in a way that Paul Pembroke doesn't come along. That way you don't have to split the chems with him. And yeah, so from here, we have a really strong build going. We haven't really done hardly any of the main quest, so I could head back to Concord or Sanctuary, free Preston at this point, and continue on with my game. And I've got like a really nice loadout. The left leg I'd recommend looking out for is the Destroyer's left leg, sold by Daisy and Goodneighbor. You could try to kind of sneak into Goodneighbor or make a trip there and buy that left leg from her, and then you've got 2 pieces of Sprinter's gear and a full set of combat armor. And take care of my radiation here with the Doctor. And as you can see, we are level 10, and yeah, I've only used those 2 perk points, Chemist and Lone Wanderer. Clearly on your own playthrough, you'd have a lot more perks going, which will make this even easier than how it was for me, because I just didn't bother spending any, because just to kind of demonstrate that you don't need any other perks to do this. Alright, just saved here at Hangman's Alley, so we can see that, yeah, I'm just under 3 hours, like I predicted at the beginning. So yeah, 3 hours in, to get to this level, I think is pretty strong. So from here on out, we're only going to get more and more overpowered as the build continues. There's one more thing I wanted to do to showcase just how strong we are this early in the game. Alright, we've got a few frag mines here. Hang on. Oh no. Alright, let's kill the ghoul before he... Alright. I was gonna say before he steps on a frag mine. We have at least 2 more frag mines we can use. Okay, we got that guy. As a lot of people think that... Maybe not a lot of people, but I've definitely seen people mention that sneak is essential for survival because of like the 3rd rank of sneak making it so you don't activate landmines. And we're level 10 on survival mode. Here's the power of dense. Look how much damage I just took from a frag mine on survival 3 hours into the game. That's one of the reasons why I think this start is so strong. Because like, I don't have to worry about frag mines for the rest of the game. And it's not going to be too long before I'm not even going to have to worry about missile launchers. Something to keep in mind. But anyway, that's all I have for you today. I hope you found this video informative, and I hope it helps you out on your survival runs. Or maybe it inspired you to try survival mode if you haven't already. In any case, thanks so much for watching, and hopefully I'll catch you in the next video. Have a good one. Bye.